Today I was talking to one of my colleague who was actually giving a KT session, and this has been going on for almost like 14 days or so, or maybe like 10 days or so. I'm not so sure, 10 or 14, but this has been going on for some time. And I've never been a person who has actually opened up myself and talked really the way I feel about things. So mostly I always think that what will people think? They might find, they might think. I mean, they might feel bad about something or something like that. And I always felt that, and I've always kept myself mum. I've always adjusted to things, and that's how it has always been. Now, what happens is that if you are a woman and you are going through some PMS sessions like premenstrual syndrome, you will feel that you have the worst kind of mood swings, and you will have a lot of ups and downs in your mood, and like before periods it just goes very 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 bad. And so I've always like any other woman, I've always had that. So today, it's like I told you guys, like I hadn't slept last night. And so we have, like, if you have been in a project management role, you're always occupied all the time. You will never be without a call. You will never be without coordinating someone, because like I've been in other IT roles, but project management role is really project management. It's like they and the thing is that some people have a time limit that we start now and we end now. We don't go beyond those times, because what happens is that if getting up only you're getting a call, and going to sleep also, like you don't have a set time limit for that, what happens is that it creates a mental problem in your brain that like this is getting too much and I am not able to handle so much. So today, like there's this woman I work with, and she takes a big gap in between when during the working hours. And what happens is that because of her, I have to adjust my timetable because of it. And what happens is that I'm okay doing that, but even like if I do not get the time to make my own food, if I do not get the time to eat, if I do not get the time to at least go to bath or to washroom, that's way too much to handle. So like I started crying in between the session. Like obviously the video was off, but I was feeling so overwhelmed that I was like, I just didn't know that why. I started questioning that why do I end up in those kinds of job opportunities wherein there is either the environment is too toxic, or either the working, like there's no balance on things as such. Then I am like, okay, a certain amount of it we have to adjust, because you cannot find perfection. There's never a way you can find perfection in work environment or anything like that. But what was not so okay with me was that, like I hadn't eaten, I hadn't gone to washroom for the last 1-2 hours, and it was getting way too much for me to handle. And like I know my body is very sensitive, I know I am very sensitive. So I just spoke to my mother about it, and she said maybe you should just go and tell her that it's getting a bit too overwhelming, and we should maybe stop and continue tomorrow. And that's what I had told her too. But like she came in between, and she started saying that okay, you can postpone your eating later on, and we can just do this work. And it was getting way too much, and then I just, like, I couldn't handle it. We were doing the work, and in between I just told her that the person who was giving the KD session, that can we set a time limit for these sessions, because it's like we are doing practical work also, we are also interchanging many nuances which are there in the work. But I think it's crossing some time limits, which is like it's getting very tiresome. And after a certain point of time, it's like the knowledge just topples up, or just it goes tangent. And you can't register anything in the brain. And for the first time, I think like, I mean, I've stood for myself with my family. I've stood for myself. Yeah, I have stood for myself in only with my family. Like that also. Like there was a time when I couldn't stand up for myself. Like when I was doing my CA, I could not say no to something. So basically, if you guys don't know, so I was stuck in a profession wherein I was not in the CA profession, but I was studying for CA, and it was kind of like not my personal choice, and I just pursued it because like people from family spoke that you should do this, and actually it was me. I spoke once that I wanted to do CA, and everybody just got so encouraged, and it was like kind of, we talk about peer pressure, but we do not talk about family pressure. And they all encouraged me to do CA because they thought that that could give a lot of finance opportunities and exposure, all that kind of stuff. But that was something which I never wanted to actually do, and I tried to a certain extent. I tried to a certain extent, and after which I could not just do it, and I put almost like 4 years of my life on doing CA, and after that, like I started getting very much mentally disturbed, and that's where I was like, I had to stop. Not just mentally disturbed, I was getting a lot of physical problems, so I had to actually stop. So I told my mother that I would not be going through this, and like there was a lot of time like when I told my mother, she became very emotional about it, and I thought that okay, maybe I should pursue this. And this went on for to and fro for like 2 3 times, and then ultimately when I said that it is impacting my health, it is impacting my mental health, and I would not be able to do it. I don't care if you say yes or no, but I would not go through it. That's why she supported me, and when she supported me, there were some extended family who were trying to pressurize me back to go to do CA. And that's why like I stood up again for myself. I said that if you guys want to do CA, please go and do CA. I would not be able to do CA. It's not that the profession is bad, it's just that I am not interested to do. So that's why I stopped. So, and that was the first time I stood for myself in front of my whole family. Before that, I was someone who did not know how to stand up for myself. So today, like when I spoke my heart out to this woman who was actually taking all my time, I mean, I understand her intentions were good. I understand she was trying to educate me. She was trying to explain me each and everything, and I appreciate that. But also at the same time, I cannot put all my time and effort on office. I need to make my own food. I have to eat my own food. I have to sleep in time because I know how my body is, and if my body cannot support me, then there's no point earning money when you are mentally or physically ill. So that's where I told her very politely, can we set a time? And then that's where she realized that that was the boundary I put. And usually people are very afraid to set boundaries because they feel like if I say what I feel, then I might lose what I have. But that's not the thing. It's just that you are trying to make things okay for both of you. So it's just that like if she thinks that like everything should go according to her timetable, I also felt like there is also a certain timetable I have. I also need to have my own food. I also need to go to sleep in a right time, because again tomorrow I have to go I have to wake up early because I do a morning shift. So that's where I stood up for myself, and I feel like being your authentic self is something which is very important, because we cannot lose ourselves. Even when we are handling corporate deals or something like that, there's always a way to communicate what you want, and you just have to find the right way to communicate. You don't have to offend people, you don't have to and also, but do not also think that if you say what you feel, that's gonna hurt someone, or that's going to make someone feel bad, because that's something like which we are taught in our childhood, that if you speak your heart and if you say what you feel, then maybe you will hurt someone. It's not like you will hurt someone, you're just saying what is actually hurting you. So in this case, it's not about hurting or anything, it's just that you are trying to say that I'm not comfortable with this kind of timetable. So it's always good to say that. And in fact, like, if I talk about relationships, I feel like I've always told my boyfriend that don't keep quiet, be communicative, say what you feel about things, and I'll say what I feel about things, and we'll find a middle ground. So that's where I feel like you find the most solutions of. And yeah, that's the thing. So even today, like, one of my friend, he has this bad habit of like vanishing off when he goes through something difficult. And this is that same friend who is having problems with his girlfriend. So I also told him the same thing, that when you have a problem, learn to deal with it face to face, because when you deal with it face to face, you end the problem. But when you run away from the problem, that's where you actually put the problem on loop, and you will not be able to find a solution to the problem until and unless you actually face it and solve it. So that will be my lesson to you. That will be something I want to share with you guys, because like communication and being your authentic self is very important, whether you are in a corporate relationship or whether you are in a personal relationship. So do that. Okay, communication is very important, especially in a romantic relationship, because the more clear you are with your partner, the more closer you are. You guys should not be sleeping angry. You guys should be solving things then and there, no matter how difficult the discussion is, no matter how difficult the problem might be to discuss, but you should be solving it, because emotional intimacy is very important, even more important than physical intimacy, because emotional intimacy is everything. So that's about it. Thank you.